Alright,
Give a big thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video.
we'll do a Master Mason.
Alright, so how do I make this thing stronger?
So I'm still thinking about
Without even modifying the internals.
Quickway and Perovski's there. And I love the setup so far. It's 7:30 in the morning. I gotta go to work at 10.
Since there isn't space to jam in
Perovski's,
a
I'll be
fifth
running
cell,
it
I'm hooking it up to a bench power
at
supply
6:30.
so I
I'm
can take the
clocking
voltage
in,
even
which
higher.
is fine. I don't really
Alright,
mind
starting
that.
at the rated
It's like
voltage, so
I
we
should
have a
be up
reference here.
anyways. When you get on a routine, you're doing pretty good. But I
So,
want to keep stuff in the background
I think
because
it's
there's a couple
actually
I want to do. I want
How
to
do
try
you
to
give
do
it more
better
than its rated
integration. I know
voltage
from
yet?
last night I was
Well, I am now, but
out
it
of
literally isn't fixing
the marshmallow.
anything.
And again, I'd love to be able to pull
I
off
went ahead and
both.
took
You
apart
get in
that
there,
laser
you
pointer.
do,
I
what
think
is
I
it,
found the
3 or
problem.
4 of them
I mean, to
for
put it lightly,
what
there
it
are
is during the
literally
week,
children out there
and
that would have done a better job designing this.
you know, you
The
do
driver circuit is
2
literally
or
just
3
a
of
switch and
them
resistor.
for whatever it is.
No
If I can get that
filter
night
cap,
shift
let alone any sort of current
or whatever's
regulation.
running on
I
it,
think the reason
then
they
I
can get
can
away with this is due to the
then I
high
can
internal
hopefully be
resistance of
able
these little
to,
button cells.
you know,
That
get
means
out
that
an
it may have
hour or
actually
2
been my
or 3
bench
or
supply
something like
that killed
that
it,
before work,
even though the voltage was
depending
set
on what the
correctly.
timeline is. It seems
Now,
like they're
notice that
gonna,
the bare laser
the
diode is
quick
mounted
way for me
directly on the
and
circuit
Subway
board
there,
here
they're
with
gonna
very
get the
little in
priority
terms of
because, well, they
heat
pay
sinking.
better.
A
You
powerful
know, I
laser
can't
diode would fry itself
I
in
can't necessarily
seconds
say,
in
well, they need
configuration
me
like
more,
this.
but they don't
So
do
that only
anything on
means
my
that this
behalf.
puny
But I
laser
can keep
diode
it
was
low
never
that way,
capable of much
and I can
power
say
in
a
the first
part-time
place.
thing,
You
and
know,
hopefully be a
maybe
pro
I've been too
horse
hard on the simplicity
that
of this thing.
gets it,
Let's
gives
be
them
honest,
time to bring
most
in
of what
some
I make
kid
is
to kind of
garbage as
fill in
well.
that void,
Now that being said,
and then
this
turn
thing
it up
needs
a little
some
bit,
serious hardware upgrades.
or
And
pick
first
up
of all,
on the
I'm gonna
end,
need a
use,
stronger laser diode.
find a way to
This is actually
displace
the
a guy. I know,
perfect
but that's the
opportunity
hard
to
thing because
justify
you
my
gotta have
Porta
really
computer
good
track.
guys
I
to be able to
probably
displace
already have
that
a
way.
suitable diode sitting in the DV
And
burner of a dead
that
computer.
means you're going to be required to
Extracting
do
these
more,
diodes
but
can be
the
tricky.
theory was
With
if
a
it
careful
keeps
touch,
you on
it
the
can be
board,
done
usually
pretty
what
reliably.
happens is some of the middle guys that do 40s usually wind up getting it because they take the task load, and they're the ones that take the machines and do all the things when you're starting to run it that way. And I'm sorry, I apologize. I do this. You don't have to take the device. You might need to change or alter Bernoulli's equation accordingly. I have no problem with that. My math thesis is I need the marshmallow. So also, you know, and I like working with those guys. Those are good training guys. They work hard. They're sweating during the day. You know, I'm telling you, that's a number. You know, but I also like the psych that goes into the quick way training for what it is. Now, both of them have. See, it's more realistic that, you know, in Board Factory, if I can get that timeline on the boards to be a computer program that takes, and I mean just a program, an email or something like that they can study about learning board techniques and do things. Here's a diagram, here's a picture. I can keep a diagram with me while I'm training somebody or have one close to hand in case I needed it, but hopefully the retention off of that test that you design takes you a week or 2 to make it. Maybe a little longer depending on who you are. I'm talking about the board stack and the bunk rotations, how to make a bander. It's actually real simple. Just take the 4x6s in your brain right now, 10 footers, put it on a rail, make the imaginary rail, kind of go offset once you find the middle, and there'll be a rail in there depending on how you set it. But just take the picture. You don't need to explain all that. And then just say center the strap, do this technique, and then very small scale draw those things. So it takes a little while, and then you'll have that bunk strap done, and how to stack boards, how to start a pallet, how to do those things. And so that also plays into Droid, right? You know, because 6 hours on the training course, where yes, I need to know how to do. Well, it's a number weird. It's like a laser confinement right there. He's kind of doing it, but it's not as good as a felt pen. But
to top it off, these lasers can do some tricks that you can't even pull
inside of there, if I take that Droid.
This is because these DVD lasers have excellent beam quality compared to most hobby burning lasers. I'll go more into this
do it
later,
up here.
but the improved
We
beam
should
quality
be
is
able to
even
make that
suitable for building
screen
an
pretty
optical
simple
trap.
of the quick way terminal. And that's important here at Dalport Daily. Well, I can double down later and tell you we can make improvement around that there, Luigi, and make some differences. But basically, this is.
It's time to jam this in a laser pointer.
We can skip out your
together, so it isn't too difficult to get them apart.
your program number. This will be where you type in X11111. You tell them to do that on the home screen for loading in, or for clocking in, or whatever you need to do. Press me. And then you get right to the gas station, the coffees, button toggle switches inside here. And I want mine to be designed under standard model like Subway, right?
lasers.
and I need
I
this
want
to be
thank
able
Ice
to,
Cruncher from the laser
oh, so
forums
that
for
does
reminding me
this
of
stuff,
these
and I
things,
need
because I actually
to
have
be
some of these
able
chips left over
to
after buying some
adjust into
13
that.
years ago.
And then you can
Along with
also
the
do
filter
some things
capacitor,
like
these make
stacking
a
board,
simple and
like this
compact way
quick
of driving a
way.
DVD laser.
Welcome to Quick
The
Way.
original
How's it going today?
switchboard
Make
gives
sure you're
power
getting
to a new drive
recognition.
here, and the circuit
Make
is
sure you know
completed
what they
through the
look like,
conductive
so you remember
casing.
what they
Now
look
what
like
about
in
batteries?
case there's an incident.
The
And it's just
short-circuit
fundamental
current on these button
practice
cells
on
is
Fred,
pathetically
Bill,
low. So
Jim,
clearly I need something
and
a bit
anybody
better.
else in their standard
Thankfully, I bought
model.
some 10180
And
cells
some of them are local,
specifically
some
for
of them are
this
not.
project. It
You know,
turns
that's
out
why
that
you know
these
it
are
wasn't
actually
Fred,
the
right?
cutest
They
batteries
don't look
I've
the
ever
same, they
used
don't
on
act
this
the same,
channel.
they don't do the same
Alright, here goes
things.
nothing. Okay, that's pretty
So,
cool. Quite the upgrade
back to
compared
the
original
Perovskis
one,
over
that's
here. And
for
again,
sure.
I want to touch into that because
Not
I would
gonna
like to be
lie,
able to
this
do
thing's
this
absurd.
as a
I
part
mean,
with
it
it.
feels like
I
a
do
toy,
weekends
but
with
it's
that
actually
stuff. And if it's
extremely
during the
dangerous.
nights, during the
Most
days,
importantly, though, it can burn
you know,
stuff.
which
That's
I
what
can't
matters the
guarantee
most.
right now, which killing me
Let's
because
test
I'd
that out
love
by
to be
lighting a
able to
couple
have a
matches.
standard set that goes with this, but probably
Nice.
to adjust on things.
Some
Doesn't work for
balloons.
them because then I can't do 2 shifts on things, and I just can't call out of something like
What
Perovski's
about
because
some
somebody
thin
doesn't
plastic?
show up. See, I would already have contractual
It's like a tiny
obligations,
little
even though it
lightsaber.
wasn't as much. It's still
Here's one
about.
that isn't as visually
This is
impressive, but it's
useful
still
to
very
me
cool.
because I
When I
work
hit this
50
block of
hours.
wood
I
with
can
the
work
laser,
60
it
hours, and
makes
I
a
can
little
work probably
wisp of
work
smoke and
70
even raise it
hours
a little.
if it
Now
was
let me
something
put
like
some laser
this.
goggles in front of the camera to filter out that red light. See those
But I
white
would have to
flashes
do it
there?
accordingly
That's from
to
bits of the material
a real
getting
hard
white
system.
hot.
Well, plumbers do
These
this.
DVD
Electricians
lasers are
do
single
this.
spatial
There's a
mode,
lot of
which means the
landscaping,
output
getting
can be
around
focused
to
down
sites
an
and what is
extremely tiny
priority
point.
under a
This high
certain
beam
number of
quality is
subsets
necessary
that you
for
have.
reading or writing the
Groundskeeper Willie.
minuscule grooves of optical discs.
Um,
This also means that the power densities attainable are off the charts. I did some rough calculations to give you an
Alright, so let's
idea
get
on
this
how
out of here.
crazy these numbers can get. A fraction of a watt doesn't seem like much, but when that's focused onto a spot 1/100th of the width of a human hair, that gives an optical power density that's 10,000 times higher than the sun's surface.
So this is,
Using
you
this
know,
value,
kind
you
of the
can
way you
calculate the
use
upper
Kelvin
limit of
numbers
temperature
to
for an
get
object being
absolute
heated by the
cold,
laser.
or
A tiny black
temperatures
particle in
lower
the
than
environment
absolute
where the only
cold.
loss
Now,
of heat is via radiation
but you
would
can
heat
certainly
nearly
get hotter
60,000
than
degrees by the laser.
with very
If
small
you look at volume
numbers and the
power
housing
density,
of the
you're
of the
dealing with
physics
values that are
that
several orders of magnitude
passes
higher than what
that
you'd find inside a
energy
nuclear reactor.
transmission.
These
And
crazy
so
numbers give
that
some
word
insight into
becomes
why device with
a
relatively low output
plasmic
power can
state.
burn
Now, if
stuff.
we get
Or more
into the
importantly,
math
why
of
they're an
Gauss
extreme
Faraday,
eye hazard. I mean, you can see
Maxwell,
right
and
here why direct hit
Max
from the lasers
Max
like staring into a
Faraday's,
billion suns.
or
For
Gauss,
those calculations, I just
whoever.
used ballpark estimates for the total output power, but I can actually measure it directly with my Project
gonna
Laser
be
Power Meter by Gentech EO.
change
Okay,
in
so around
field,
200
delta,
milliwatts or
whatever you
so.
want to call it, is A or P potential, M momentum, uncertainty particles. When the kind of the statement is, when I'm looking at somebody like Ted Perovski, now, I think those old school Mason guys, they work great for the number because they're, you know, it's Hillside that they own, it's stuff that they
I
can,
need at least 500 milliwatts. to
they've
achieve that
amped
class
it
4
up,
rating.
and
Unfortunately, I won't be able to do
their
that with this
lightsaber.
laser. So I'm going to need an even stronger
mitochondria,
laser
whatever
diode.
they do when they shake
I
your
still
hand.
want to use red diodes for a
But
few
at any
reasons.
rate, you know, I'd have to
For
let him
one,
look at
red
me
lasers
with
don't
what
get
my
much love
situation
from
is.
the
There's
hobbies
all kinds of
anymore.
uncertainty
And that's because
particles
huge
about
blue
it, but
lasers are
you could
easily
name
tunable.
exactly which ones
But
they
also,
are.
I'm lazy. And
Now,
the lower
when I
port
graph
voltage
the
is
momentum
easier
and
to
make the
deal with.
measurements on those
Choosing the
things, you
right
get a lot
laser
of
diode
problem
gets
like
tricky
stock
when you're dealing
markets.
with red.
The measurement
There aren't many
collapses
options
a
to
wave
pick from.
function.
Using
And
the
you get back to the
traditional
stone
strategy of
mill
buying sketchy laser
designs,
parts
and you
on
get back
eBay,
to
you
the
might be
resume
tempted to buy the most
designs of
powerful diode
what
you
is
can
the
find.
most
It
efficient
turns out
thing
that
in
if
an
you go this
argument,
route,
because
you'll
I'm
be
sure
buying
from
what's
one
perhaps the
relative
most cursed
perspective,
laser diode on the
Andromeda,
market.
Andromeda's
Yup,
bigger,
that thing
and
makes
it's
3 separate
probably
laser
moving
beams.
faster to
Sure,
us.
it
So
makes a ton
when it
of
comes
red
to
light,
priorities of
but
problems,
combining
if you
those
can
beams
figure
into
that
one
one
would be
out,
incredibly difficult,
it's the first
especially
problem.
in a
But
tiny
you'll need
laser
to know
pointer.
that
This
because
must have been
this one's
intended for
closer
use
to
as
home.
just a
You know more
compact
about
red
these
light
numbers.
source,
You
because
can
I don't know of anything
orientate
that could
speed
make use of a
lines and
beam like
timelines
that.
appropriately.
Lowering your expectations a bit, this laser diode are one very
So when you
similar.
get a triple
It's
body
not 2.5
problem
watts
going
like
like
the
that at
Dryden
it with
monster, but it does go across the class
Perovskis,
4 threshold. That being
Maravitos,
said,
and
this thing
Swag
still produces an
Incorporated,
absolutely
because
garbage
that's
beam.
what that
I
is.
mean, it's basically a
You
line
can
in the far
build
field,
into
and that's because
individual
one
states
axis of the
from
beam vector
ground
is
guy
much faster
to
than the other.
operator to
Hobbyists do make use of trash
management
beams
or
like
owner
this
of a
by
company.
using various methods of
And
correction, but I don't
you got to
exactly
use
have
that
the
owner of
space
the company
inside a
again, like
teaching
the bottom.
laser to jam
I'm
in
the
a
owner of
cylindrical
this
lens telescope.
board stacking
Now, I
position,
did come
or
across a listing for some powerful red
Subway's
dials that claim to have
standard
fast
model,
axis
or
correction.
Maravitos
Is there a
standard
manufacturer
model.
listed?
Click, click,
No.
click, click,
Is
click.
the data sheet made up?
And that's how
Probably.
all the numbers
So it must
correlate
be a
to
scam, right?
sales, to
Nope.
inventory,
These are actually as
to
impressive as they are sketchy. What's
you know,
special
whatever the
about this
game may
diode
be.
is that a tiny fiber lens is
And,
placed
and of course, you
immediately
know,
in front of the
those are
emitter,
hard ones too
and it only
because the
changes the
customers
exit
come in and
angle
make a
of one
curveball.
axis
If you
of the beam.
just squared it
In this
off,
case,
and the game
the
is to
fast
get
axis collimator makes it so the divergence
paperwork
on
as
each
close to that
axis
as
is roughly the
possible on
same,
timelines.
which
What are
gives
the
a square
down
beam when
times
collimated
always?
in the
Because
far
that's a
field.
black body
This
problem.
is much
I want
more
to put the
acceptable than
biggest
dealing with the
tasks
line.
inside
To
of
top
that,
it off,
something
this
that
laser
takes me
diode is
away
rated
from
for over a
options.
watt.
Now, how many of
Now
those
it's
do
time
I
to jam
have?
this scary
Is there a
piece of
better
technology inside a
organization or
laser frame.
pattern to
As usual
position
for a
them
build
in?
like this,
And you ask
I never
questions.
plan anything
Firstly, the
out.
standard
You
model's
just start adding
probably
and moving
there.
parts around
They're
until
doing
things
it,
fit
but
and work.
the checklist
For a
or
driver,
something I haven't
just
gotten
wired
in
a
my
few of
hand
these
yet
AMC
from
7135 chips in parallel and threw in a
from
filter cap
other
for
of
good measure.
those
The high
models.
current draw
So
means that the original
when you go
switch
back
probably
to it,
wouldn't hold up here. So
and
I
you can
wired
do those things
it
inside
so
of here
that it
with
just
just
signals
some
to a MOSFET to handle the power
MOSFETs
switching.
and
Now
some
I know what you're
Arduinos.
thinking. All that stuff
Amp
jammed in
it
such
up.
a tiny housing has got to be a thermal nightmare, right? Yes.